My mind was blank, overwhelmed. Hands roamed everywhere, caressing, clutching, steering me precisely where they desired. I was enveloped, my body pinned among them. My senses were in overdrive, unraveling bit by bit. There was no reprieve, no breaking free from the fervor. They moved as one, leaving me drowning in warmth, ecstasy, and the low rumble of their voices humming approval. "Check her out," one of them growled, his tone heavy with delight, utterly absorbed. And I was too. I'd never experienced anything like this, and I didn't want it to end. Before we dive in, let me toss out a question. How wild do you think this'll get? Stick around to the finish, and I swear it's worth it. If you're into tales like this, smash that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming. Let's jump in. Drinking solo tonight? The voice was velvety, rich, belonging to a guy who never doubted himself. I glanced over, and there he was, right next to me, close enough for me to catch the subtle whiff of bourbon and high-end cologne. Older, self-assured, sharply dressed, with a touch of silver at his temples, a chiseled jaw, and the kind of aura that screamed he always got his way. I'd clocked him the moment I stepped in, and I'd been hoping he'd make this move. I peeked at him over my glass. Not anymore, it seems. He grinned, clearly digging how I rolled with it. "Pity," he said, eyeing my empty glass. "I was about to get you a refill." I gave a little shrug, cocking my head. "You still could, but fair warning, I don't tend to linger." His gaze sharpened, intrigued. "Funny, neither do I." We both knew where this was headed. No pretense, no chit-chat, just two people chasing the same thrill. I leaned closer, just enough for my dress to catch his eye. "Your place." He downed his drink in one fluid motion, setting the glass down with a soft clink. "Let's roll." I snatched my purse, feeling the warmth of his hand resting lightly on my lower back as he ushered me toward the exit. The night was young, and I had a hunch it was about to get a lot spicier. We got to his place in no time. The door barely clicked shut before his hands were on me, firm, confident, no second guessing, taking me exactly how I craved. His lips collided with mine as he guided me toward the bedroom, fingers tugging my dress off my shoulders, letting it pool on the floor. His jacket, belt, and shirt followed, clothes vanishing amid fevered kisses, leaving nothing between us. By the time we hit the bed, I was breathless, my skin tingling, my body already yearning for him. But before I could process, he dropped to his knees. A low hum vibrated from his chest as his hands gripped my thighs, parting them with ease. "I've been dying to taste you since you walked in." And then he did. I gasped, my fingers twisting in the sheets as heat surged through me. Slow at first, teasing, ensuring I felt every brush of his tongue, every faint graze of stubble on my skin. I figured he'd be skilled, but not this skilled. His hold tightened, pulling me closer, making me lose myself as I quivered under him. Just when I thought I couldn't handle more, he eased back, lips glistening, eyes dark and ravenous. "Flip over." The order was soft but commanding, from a man used to being followed. I obeyed, barely catching my breath before his hands found my hips, drawing me to him. No delay, no hesitation, just a deep, steady thrust, filling me entirely. I gasped, clutching the sheets as he held me steady, letting me adjust to his presence. "There you go," he murmured, his hand trailing down my spine, possessive yet calm, like we had all night. Then he started moving. The pace was deep, relentless, all-consuming, his grip solid, his body pressing into mine with deliberate force that sent jolts of pleasure through me. My breath caught, my nails scraping the sheets, the heat building tight in my core. Higher, higher, until, release. My body trembled beneath him, waves of heat crashing over me, leaving me shaking. His hold tightened, his rhythm growing fiercer, more urgent, and with one final thrust, he followed, his body stiffening against mine before going still. For a moment, there was only heavy breathing, slick skin, and the fading pulse of satisfaction. Then a low chuckle, a lazy grin. "Well, damn," he muttered, his fingers drifting idly down my back. I swallowed, still catching my breath, reeling from what just happened. I'd assumed older guys were softer, slower, more reserved. I was so wrong, and I had no clue this night was just the start. I stretched, my body still warm and heavy from the night before. Morning light slipped through the curtains, casting a gentle glow across the room. I glanced at the man beside me, still composed, totally at ease. I hadn't meant to stay over, but here I was. Sliding out of bed, I slipped into my dress, smoothing it out as I scanned for my heels. No need to hang around. It was a blast, honestly, an incredible night. But that's all it was. One night. I was halfway to the door when the aroma of fresh coffee stopped me. I turned, and there he was in the kitchen, 2 mugs on the counter, already awake and watching me. Sneaking out without a goodbye, he asked, his voice smooth and steady, that same confident tone from last night. I flashed a small smile and shrugged. "Figured you'd be dead to the world. Didn't peg you as a morning coffee guy. I like to keep folks on their toes." He slid a mug toward me. I hesitated, then stepped over and grabbed it. Why not? We sipped in silence, but it wasn't awkward. There was a vibe, like something was brewing. Then he leaned against the counter, all casual, and said, "Got some old friends coming over tonight. Just a few guys I go way back with. Drinks, maybe some poker. You should hang." I raised an eyebrow, catching the glint in his eyes. "Oh." I set my mug down, tilting my head. "What kind of night are we talking?" His grin was slow, certain. "A damn good one." I let out a soft laugh, shaking my head. "They as talented as you?" "Stay and find out," he shot back. I knew exactly what he was suggesting, and I already knew I was in. Last night blew my expectations out of the water. So what would it be like, times 5? I lifted my coffee, took a slow sip. "Guess I'm sticking around a bit." His eyes darkened, approving. "Good call." By late afternoon, I was getting antsy. The air in the apartment felt thick, charged. I sprawled on the couch, glancing at the clock. Not long now. A slow, steady thrill was building in my gut. "Mind if I hop in the shower?" I asked, though we both knew it wasn't just about getting clean. He smirked, swirling his whiskey. "Be my guest." I slipped into the bathroom, shutting the door. The moment the water hit, warm steam enveloped me. I stood under the spray, exhaling slowly. Last night still lingered on my skin, the heat, the ache, the way he moved with me. But tonight would be something else, something bigger. My fingers trailed over my stomach, down my thighs. How would they look at me? The thought sent a shiver through me, despite the warmth. A smile curled my lips as I grabbed the soap, gliding it over my skin, letting the heat sink deep. I should have been nervous, but I wasn't. When I stepped out, my body felt alive, ready. I toweled off quickly and slipped into his robe, soft, oversized, carrying his scent. Then I heard it, voices, low, multiple. I froze for a second. They were here. I exhaled slowly. No turning back now. I smiled, loosened the robe's tie, and stepped out. The second I entered the living room, the mood shifted. The quiet chatter stopped, replaced by something heavier. Anticipation. I felt it in their gazes, the way they sized me up, curious, waiting. But I didn't hesitate. No need. I strode to the man from last night, settling beside him on the couch. His hand found my thigh immediately, warm, firm, claiming but calm. He smirked, fingers brushing the robe's hem, teasing, before pulling me in for a slow, lingering kiss. No rush, just pure confidence. He wanted me to feel it, to feel them watching, waiting. Then they stirred. A shift in stance, the rustle of clothes, the soft clink of a belt unbuckling. I eased back, glancing up. One of them, tall or broad, close enough to touch, watched me with quiet expectation, his hand on himself, fingers moving in slow, deliberate strokes. "Go ahead," the man beside me murmured. His fingers still grazing my robe. "Let's kick this off." A surge of heat hit me. I leaned forward. The first touch of my lips sent a tremor through him. I took my time, savoring, exploring, letting him feel the slow, intentional pace. His breath hitched, a low, approving sound escaping as his fingers wove into my hair, guiding gently. Then another hand. A thumb brushed my lower lip, urging it open before something warm and firm pressed against it, waiting. One by one, they joined, a soft touch on my cheek, a hand cradling the back of my head, easing me from one to the next. I was surrounded, wandering hands, grazing touches, their scent, their feel. I was immersed, caught in the tide. They were patient, letting me move at my own rhythm, letting me savor the differences in shape, size, warmth. Hands glided over my shoulders, tilted my chin, kept me right where they wanted. I surrendered to it, the cadence, the sensation, the sounds of low murmurs and soft groans from men fully lost in the moment. Then a change. Someone took my hand, tugging me up, guiding me to the couch. "Over here." One of them had sat down, watching me expectantly, legs spread, waiting. I moved instinctively, climbing into his lap, straddling him, feeling the solid weight of his body beneath me. His hands gripped my waist, firm and steady, as he eased me down slowly, purposefully. My breath caught, a small gasp slipping out as I settled onto him. A deep rumble vibrated in his chest, his fingers tightening on my hips as he shifted, urging me to move. "There you go," he growled, voice rough with satisfaction. I rocked against him, finding a rhythm, sinking into the slow, consuming feeling of being claimed. But I wasn't just his. Wandering hands, teasing touches, palming, kneading, tracing my curves, grazing sensitive spots, sparking every nerve. A hand on my jaw tilted my head up, lips crashing into mine, swallowing the soft moans escaping. I was held, caressed, explored, completely surrendered to them. Then another shift, a new grip on my waist, a presence behind me. "Breathe," a voice whispered against my ear. I barely had time to brace before he positioned himself carefully. A sharp inhale, overwhelmed, adjusting, stretching to take them both, fully enveloped. Their hands steadied me, one on my hips, the other on my waist, moving together, perfectly synced, pulling me deeper into the sensation. A low moan tore from me, my fingers digging into the chest beneath me as pleasure consumed, unraveled, shattered me. "Look at her," one of them murmured, voice thick with admiration, savoring every second. And I was. Time melted into a blur of motion, shifting hands, low murmurs, and deep groans. I was passed from one to the next, undone piece by piece, made to feel every moment. No hurry, they took their time, switching places, ensuring I felt them completely before moving on. When the last hands let go, I was spent, trembling, utterly overwhelmed. My body still buzzed, my breath ragged. Soft chuckles followed, quiet murmurs of approval. The man from last night knelt beside me, tilting my chin up, brushing a damp strand of hair from my face. "Didn't think you'd hold up," he said, smirking. Neither did I, and I had a feeling this wouldn't be the last time. Some guys fantasize about a night like this, but only a few could handle it. Tell me, you think you could keep pace with a woman like her? Drop it in the comments, I always check them. Hit like if you dug the story and subscribe for more. Thanks for sticking around. Catch you in the next one.